Over 175 years ago, William Orgill purchased a struggling hardware store in Virginia. In his travels throughout the South, Orgill saw a unique opportunity for growth on the western frontier, and in 1847, he boldly packed up and moved his business 2,300 nautical miles to Memphis. Memphis was a rising city and home to only 7,000 people when Orgill arrived in 1847. As the cotton trade began to boom and western expansion continued, Orgill's vision for success began to take shape. The railroad arrived in 1857, bringing more opportunity. William's brother Edmund took over operations, and Orgill Brothers continued to grow, leading up to the difficult years of the Civil War. Throughout the war, Orgill Brothers remained in business, helping customers find solutions during a period of scarcity and supply chain interruptions. As Reconstruction began, demand for hard goods soared as the population of Memphis swelled to 40,000. The city suffered a terrible outbreak of yellow fever in 1873. Within days, 25,000 people fled, while 7,000 more fell ill. Despite the risk, Orgill Brothers was one of the few firms that remained open for the community and also raised relief funds to help. With a transcontinental move, war, and an epidemic behind them, Orgill looked forward as the South rapidly industrialized. As the new century dawned, Edmund's son Frederick took over, and specialization became the order of the day. Offerings now included electrical and plumbing supplies, as well as auto parts and tractor implements, and Orgill Brothers moved to a strictly wholesale model in 1908. In 1914, as the First World War began, cotton exports ceased, and many customers were unable to pay their invoices. Solution-oriented as ever, Orgill helped customers store their cotton bales while America fought for democracy. Afterward, the cotton sold, and customers survived the downturn while serving the nation. Following the war, William Orgill assumed leadership and continued to drive the company's success. In 1920, Orgill purchased their first truck, and in 1923, opened a branch in Jackson, Mississippi. As the country plunged into the Great Depression, Orgill responded by focusing on customers, sending 35 salesmen into the field to help distributors improve their margins. When the Second World War began in 1941, Orgill rallied to the cause and immediately made their inventory and purchasing power available to the armed forces. Meanwhile, Orgill executives served on the War Production Board and in the Office of Price Administration. Following the war, the United States economy soared, and home ownership drove hardware sales as construction of the interstate system accelerated commerce. In 1954, Orgill built a 620,000 square foot single-story distribution center, the first of its kind in the industry. Joseph Orgill Jr., who had planned every detail of the new distribution center, took over leadership in 1955 and installed one of the first IBM inventory control computers in 1958, which amazingly measured 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. Joseph Orgill III took over leadership in 1968 and acquired distributors across 7 states as Orgill grew through the 1970s recession. The 1980s began a period of change in the industry and at Orgill. In 1979, Home Depot opened their first 2 stores, beginning the growth of big box competition. Bill Fondren became president at Orgill in 1981 as the first non-family member to lead the company. The company focused on lowering operational costs and reoriented its entire business strategy to produce innovative programs to help its customers be successful. In the mid-90s, as big box competition continued to disrupt the industry and the independent channel, Orgill began to grow regionally as the company opened its second distribution center in Tifton, Georgia in 1996. Orgill enjoyed double-digit growth through the 90s and became the fastest-growing major distributor, as well as the largest independent hardware distributor in the industry. In 1997, as Orgill celebrated 150 years in business, the company served customers in 23 states and 44 countries. Ron Beal took over leadership responsibilities in 2005 and continued Orgill's remarkable growth. Over the last decade, we've expanded our infrastructure to include 8 state-of-the-art distribution centers, serving over 12,000 stores throughout all 50 states, all provinces of Canada, and more than 50 additional countries. In 2011, we launched Central Network Retail Group, a wholly owned subsidiary designed to fine-tune concepts in a real-world retail lab. CNRG is now a $500 million multi-format retailer, operating 139 stores in 16 states through 18 different brands. The breadth of retail formats mirrors Orgill's customer base and supports our mission to help our customers be successful, playing a critical role in connecting Orgill to the realities faced every day by our customers. Another subsidiary, Tyndale Advisors, was built in tandem to support CNRG with management and technical infrastructure in a separate company that would also be made available to Orgill's dealers. Tyndale Advisors now serves more than 30 customers with customized marketing, technology, human resources, and business advisory services. Continuing Orgill's commitment to innovation, the company developed brand-based integrated marketing software, which allows customers to develop their own digital graphics, printed circulars, email blasts, and more. We introduced an integrated e-commerce program in 2019 for e-commerce websites, now in use at over 500 of our dealer stores. Our newest innovation rolling out in 2022 is Fan Builder, an advanced loyalty program that unifies point-of-sale systems with e-commerce while driving personalized marketing strategies. As COVID-19 broke out in 2020, Orgill's long history of adapting to change and embracing agility kept the company on track as we prioritize safety and work closely, collaboratively, and transparently with our customers and vendor partners to mitigate supply chain issues. Our popular dealer market was reimagined and brought online with Evolution, our first online buying event in August 2020. This was the first in a series of extremely successful online buying events, transforming how we do business efficiently with our customers and vendors. In 1849, 2 years after Orgill was founded, Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Carr wrote, "The more things change, the more they stay the same." As Orgill begins our 175th year facing today's challenges, we are inspired by the many challenges our predecessors overcame, while building the foundation of success our team now builds upon. Throughout our history, Orgill has excelled at adapting to a changing competitive landscape and has consistently been a pioneer in the industry, both driving efficiency and finding new ways to execute our mission to help our customers be successful. The more things change, the more they stay the same.